let me jump real quick. We're talking about brand supremacy, right? Cowboy, here's the thing about brand supremacy. If PlayStation sold their games like Nintendo, then yes, I would agree with you with brand supremacy all the way. But guess what? They don't. Their games come out, they sell what? 5, 6 million, 4 million. The fans probably buy it. And then when there's a discount, people go buy it. And then further down the road, another discount comes out, people buy it more. And then after, when they bring it in PC, all of a sudden it goes up, right? But we're talking about 2 or 3 years. That's the gap. Because here's what really annoys me about, and I have to say this because really I just get annoyed by Jim. Um,
Jim's the
because
best.
yo, no, he's not. Sorry, he's not the best. I'm sorry. I remember there was an interview, and there was, I forgot what this guy's name is, and he mentioned that PlayStation games that were going to come out in PC a year later. I was like, okay, good, that's good. That's pretty cool. But then Jim comes on the other day and says, no, we're going to wait 2 or 3 years. I'm like, why you have to come out and say that? You first said a year, now we got to wait 2 or 3 years. Are you are you nuts? You keep changing the way that you keep changing the ideas because people who have a PC want to get the game. You say first, oh, let's wait a year. We're gonna wait a year, no problem. Oh no, now we gotta wait 3 years to get this game. That's insane. I'm sorry, Jimbo, but if you guys gonna keep something, keep your word on it. Don't keep switching things around because you want to make your brand supremacy. I'm sorry, but your games they do sell well, right? But they don't sell as well as a Nintendo game. I mean, Nintendo Zelda comes out, that's 10, 15 million right away. That's brand supremacy. PlayStation does not have that. Now, if PlayStation would release their games day one, PC and PlayStation, they would sell, trust me, they would sell probably 10 or 11 million in a month. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
they would do that.
I
They
agree
would do
with
that.
that. And
And that's the truth, and that's what they need. And another thing, Cowboy, and this is something that Plume mentioned. Technology is getting more expensive. Remember, these beautiful things usually cost 400, 500, 600. Now how much they cost? Now for a freaking iPhone, same thing
What,
with the Samsung. It's $1,000, man.
bro? I can't
$1,000
believe
up top.
it's a
And
two
and
thousand
wait,
dollar phone. I know.
there you go, two thousand
yeah,
dollar phone. Right, it's true. They get more and more expensive. So with the technology going up, and this happened at the beginning, right, with PlayStation. When PlayStation first started the PS5, they were not making any money on the PS5. So what did they do? They did a revision, and what they do, they reduced the heat sink, and then they made another revision, changed the heat sink, and then they made another
Yeah,
revision,
but
and then they
you're
made
leaving
an
out the
revision.
chip shortage. You're leaving out
Yeah,
the chip shortage.
and the chip shortages, right?
Yeah,
But
that's the big
in
one.
a way for them to make money on the PS5, they changed that PS5. I don't know how many times inside. It's insane. They have changed it so many times. And I'm happy I got the first version of the PS5 because the new version kind of scares me, especially here. Right now that here in Dominican Republic, the heat is at 40 Celsius. 40 right now, 40. Can you imagine me having the AC off playing a PS5 and that heat sink, all of a sudden it says, oh, my PS5 is too hot? Damn, I rather have it the way it is and the way it has to be cooled. But like I was saying though, they had to reduce in order to make money. But in games, in software, and all that stuff, that's where the money is, and that's where Sony needs to focus. Now, if they focus on making their games, they want on PC, they want on their console, man, they will sell 10, 11 million right away. They will. And I'm telling you, I
Well,
mean, look at God of War as an example. How much did God of War sell in a month? They sold what, 11 million, right? 10 million. But when it came out on PC, they sold like 4 or 5 million PC.
so let
That
me
would have been 16 million right there. That would have sold
yeah,
in God of War. You know?
hold on. Yes. Sorry. So listen, let me help you out a little bit. Okay,
All right.
you compare Nintendo. Said Zelda. Do you know I was playing Zelda when I was in elementary school?
Yeah.
Zelda has a long lasting history, right? So you have adults, people like me who was a child playing Zelda. I get older, I want to play it. I know Zelda's a safe game. So if I get
Okay.
Nintendo, listen, if my kid gets a point they're ready to play video games, what do you think I'm gonna buy them? A Nintendo. Because guess what? I know it's safe. You're gonna have very few games on there. I can just walk into GameStop and say, "Give me a Nintendo game," right? It's going to be safe for my kid. 99.9% of the game. I know they got some adult type games on there, right? Now, the thing is, you compare Zelda, but Zelda, Mario, they have their lineage. They're going to make that money. Crazy, pay attention, all right? They're gonna
Yeah,
make that money because they put the time in. They should make that money, right? So that's different comparing. Now, here's an issue I want to explain to you, right? And this is where I'm gonna go into that level that you guys are gonna be mad at me, but it is what it is. Remember, there was an article, or no, sorry, Jim came out and said if we put our games day and date on our own service, we're not even talking about PC, that our games would lose quality because it costs too much money to put our games day and date. Now, I'm gonna back that up. Xbox came out and said PlayStation games are higher quality. I ain't say it. Xbox did. Now, long story short, I just say that to say this. If it's true, because they can say whatever they want, right? The Xbox could say that just because they knew they was trying to get ABK. PlayStation could say that just because they don't want to lose money on putting it in day and date in a subscription. But if it's true, right, then if you put your game on PC, right, and you not have it a game, and you don't even want to put it on your own subscription service, right, then guess what? To that person, when I told that story, my friend went out and bought a PlayStation 3 because he watched me play The Last of Us 1 for 20 minutes. Guess what? If he had a PC, he could have been like, oh yeah, I'm just going to play that at home. Now, PlayStation just lost. See, here's what you're thinking of. You're thinking of the cost. It takes money to make money. You're thinking of the cost of a PlayStation. Oh, it's costing more money. That's the cost you do to get somebody trapped in your ecosystem. Because once I spend $500, $400, you know where I'm playing my games? On that $500, $400 machine, right? Because now I'm in their ecosystem. If Microsoft didn't allow me to play games on xCloud and I bought an Xbox, you know what could happen? I might be like, yo, a friend of mine, he said, bro, when I play my games, he got both. He said, games look better on my Xbox than my PlayStation. I said, oh, wow. He said, yeah, when I buy a game, I buy it for my Xbox, not my PlayStation, unless it's a game you guys are all playing on PlayStation. So here's the thing. If Xbox didn't let me use xCloud, then I would be buying an Xbox, right? And then guess what? I'd be like, man, I'm buying games for Xbox. So I think Sony just knows, listen, we're not ready to give up that space yet. So we want people to have to buy, even if we're going to lose money on a console, because they've always lost money on a console, Xbox, everybody. But even if we lose money, we're going to make up money by trapping you in this ecosystem because you can't go nowhere. Because you know what I do with xCloud? Game Pass? I cancel, then I get it, then I cancel, then I get it. PlayStation's like, nope, you're locked
But
in here because you spent $500 and $400. That's what
he-
you have to think of. So if I
here,
just let you go play your game on PC, you ain't gonna be locked in our ecosystem. You're just gonna buy this game whenever you want, that game. When you lock in the ecosystem, then you're forced to kind of be like, well, I might as well get the subscription service. Well, I might as well buy more games. It's logic. That's all, man. I
okay,
get
but
you, but I just think that the smart thing to do it now. Maybe next generation, maybe they might be like, man, these parts are really getting expensive. But they already got a PlayStation 5 now. They're already spending money. You don't just turn in the mid cycle, right? You already spent development. You already knew how much it was going to cost. You already knew how much you was going to lose. I keep using the term research. They've done research. They know they're losing money, but they know if they get people to spend that money, to lose money, you'll make money. It's business. But again, to your point, maybe the next one they might be like, you know what? This subscription thing Microsoft doing is smart. I'm just saying. It's something to
okay,
think about.
well, here's where I'm gonna say that you actually just gave Crazy Lou like you kind of gave him his argument because at the end of the day, both platforms they want to trap you into their ecosystem. They're just
I
doing
don't
it
think
different.
Microsoft do though. If
They're just
Microsoft wanted to
Oh,
trap you, they would let you
no.
do what Sony
they
do,
do.
pay for a
I think
year.
that's where you're wrong. They're just
Yeah,
doing it different
yeah.
way. They're playing different way.
yeah,
See, what
depends.
happened with PlayStation is they're the market leaders in console. So
Console, yeah.
they want you to stay on the console market.
Right.
Whereas Xbox, they completely lost last generation. What they did was
Yeah.
kind of like Nintendo did with the Nintendo Switch. They reinvented themselves and they created a much broader ecosystem where they don't care where you play because at the end of the day, like you said, they're losing money on the consoles.
Right.
So console sales, they don't really care about that. They just want you to play wherever. At the end of the day, if you're playing in their ecosystem, they have you trapped. And guess what? When you're playing, when you get into their ecosystem, let's say you get into the ecosystem to play Starfield. You finish Starfield, guess what? You're already there. You might try
No.
more games. And by trying more games, you get more invested into their
See,
ecosystem. And then you might even buy games. And that's where their money comes from, their
so here's the
ecosystem,
thing
their
I'll say.
service, their games,
For
etc.
for one moment, and I know this is an Xbox podcast, I just need you to think outside of Xbox. Everything you said sounds great, but think
Okay.
about me. So, what you always have to think of, right? Retention is great. Retention means you're just keeping who you have. You don't grow by retention, you grow by getting new consumers. So, what they
Exactly.
want is me. But here's the thing, I pay for 1 month, I skip a couple. Like, for instance, I was like, oh, I want to play Exo Primal. I'm getting it. Day one, I streamed it. I streamed live me paying for X Game Pass, right? Everybody saw me pay for it, play Exo Primal, and I was like, damn, I kind of don't like it that much. I wish I had an Xbox because it probably looked better. I feel like xCloud is slipping. xCloud a couple years ago was great. It's not as good as it was before, but I think because the ABK deal, they're probably not maintaining it to make you feel like we're not that of a threat with cloud gaming. Anyway, so I told myself, oh, I'm gonna get Game Pass next month so I could get Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But other than that, I didn't have it for a couple months. So here's the thing: you said
Mm.
once you're in the ecosystem, no, the ecosystem has a big exit sign with no door on it. It just says
No,
exit.
yeah.
Leave when you want, come back when you want.
Cowboy, I agree. I agree 100%. But I think one thing that you're forgetting about this is that there are a lot of consumers in the market that are lazy and will forget to cancel that, and it will continue to lapse. For example, and I'll throw myself under the bus on this one because I'm a prime example of it right now. I've got Disney Plus, I have Netflix, I think I have Amazon's video stuff.
Oh
Like,
Lord.
I've got a grip of stuff that sits there and it's dormant on occasion. And I could do what you're saying, right? Like, it would make more sense for me to do the month to month or whatever, unless, like, Game Pass, I will give credit for a lot of like the sites and stuff, since you can actually consolidate up to 3 years worth. You can find a lot of really good deals, so you can actually get like a long period. But with stuff like Netflix, stuff like that, like, I let it go dormant and I forget about it. And I probably should cancel it. I should probably have notifications in my phone. But I think a lot of people in the market probably run the same way with some of their subscriptions.
You see what Doc said though? See what Doc said? It's becoming a thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think for like on the other side of the coin there, for things like PlayStation, there's probably tons of people who buy a PS5 and maybe play one game, maybe play two
That's
games, maybe play Call of Duty, and that's it. And for PlayStation, those consumers, to them, are not valuable because sure, they bought a PS5, they gave $500, PlayStation took a loss on selling them that PS5, and then they're not spending any money on the network other than maybe the $5 or whatever it is, right? With you're trapped in the ecosystem with subscription for things like Game Pass. It's like you're in there, you're playing all these games. You may get attracted into purchasing stuff on the Xbox store. You get all of the deals that come with it. Like, the amount of games I've purchased on Xbox on top of Game Pass is crazy because of all the sales that they put on. So I think, like, I agree. It's the goal for both of them is obviously trapping them in their ecosystem and into their network. And it's like, which one at the end of the day is going to win out, whether it's playing anywhere, or would it be the console thing? I don't think the console thing, the locking people console, is going to be the future. I think like that's going away relatively soon, next couple of years, where you're seeing the evolution of the gaming industry. But I mean, like I said, on the other side of the coin, like my PS5, I have it, sits there. I don't remember the last time I've spent any money on it. I think it was like, I think I bought GT7 on sale to try it in PSVR 2, and that's the last time I spent money on my
You do
PS5.
realize that statement makes no difference. You're on a podcast called Xbox Podcast. So you're not the target audience. You, for whatever reason, you bought a PlayStation, but you're really an Xbox fan. You got it so you can say you got one, and you don't use it. You don't
No,
matter.
it's not
See,
true. It's
listen,
not
listen.
true.
For every company,
I've
no,
played
but
every
listen.
console, every generation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
listen, with companies, right? It's a such thing called I had the term in my head when you was talking, but it's a market loss. So they know that there's, trust me, bro, market research. I'm telling you, they know there's a lot of you out there. There's people going to buy the console because they loved it. They thought it was going to, and guess what? They might go off to the army and don't play. There's people, it's a market loss. There's
I
people
don't
they
think
know
Plume
that
is
they're
the
going to
person
lose
you're
money on.
describing right now, but
But
I don't think Plume is the person you're describing right
No,
now.
well, I'm not, but at the same time, I can level with you that everyone's own personal experience isn't the reflective of the entire
sure,
gamers out there on both PlayStation and Xbox. I can agree with
Yeah.
that for sure.
yeah.